Do you know, there is an island in the Indian Ocean that has been completely cut off from the rest of humanity for 60,000 years. No outsider has ever made contact with its people and survived to tell the full story. Governments have banned all access to it. The last people who tried to visit were killed within minutes of stepping onto the shore. And the most disturbing part? The people living there don't just reject the outside world, they are actively waiting to kill anyone who comes close. This is North Sentinel Island, and what happens there will change how you think about civilization, human nature, and the one question nobody wants to answer. What if they're right to keep us out? Welcome to Curiosity Vault, where we unlock the knowledge they never taught you. Kindly like, subscribe, and share. Today we're going deep into one of the most fascinating, disturbing, and genuinely mysterious places on Earth. A living forbidden zone. An island that exists in a completely different world from the rest of us. And a story that gets darker the deeper you go. North Sentinel Island sits in the Bay of Bengal, part of India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands chain. It's roughly the size of Manhattan, covered in dense jungle, surrounded by coral reefs that make it nearly impossible to approach by boat. And on that island lives one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth, the Sentinelese. Nobody knows exactly how many of them there are. Estimates range from 50 to 500 people. We can't get close enough to count. Nobody knows what language they speak. We have never been able to record or study it. Nobody knows what they call themselves, what they believe, or how their society is structured. What we do know is this: they have survived completely isolated from the rest of humanity for approximately 60,000 years. That makes them one of the oldest continuous human populations on the planet. They were already ancient when the Egyptian pyramids were being built. Over the centuries, there have been attempts to make contact. Every single one has ended in violence or near disaster. In 1880, a British colonial officer named Maurice Vidal Portman landed on the island with a large armed party. They captured 6 Sentinelese, an elderly couple and 4 children, and brought them to Port Blair on the main island. The elderly couple died almost immediately, almost certainly from diseases their immune systems had never encountered. The children became visibly ill. Portman, realizing what was happening, returned them to the island with gifts. We have no idea what those children told their people when they returned, but whatever they said, the Sentinelese never welcomed outsiders again. Through the 1970s and 80s, the Indian government made a series of carefully planned contact expeditions. Anthropologists approached by boat, carrying coconuts, pots, and cloth as gifts. Sometimes the Sentinelese accepted the gifts cautiously. Other times they fired arrows the moment the boats came close. In 1981, a cargo ship called the Primrose ran aground on the reef surrounding the island during a storm. The crew sent a distress signal. Before rescuers could arrive, they watched in horror as Sentinelese warriors gathered on the beach, armed with bows, spears, and metal-bladed weapons they had clearly made from shipwrecked debris. The crew locked themselves inside the ship for days until a helicopter finally airlifted them out. The Indian government officially abandoned contact attempts in 1996. They declared a 3-mile exclusion zone around the island. Under Indian law, it is now illegal to approach North Sentinel Island. The Sentinelese are protected, not just from us, but from any legal consequences of defending their home, which means they have the legal right to kill anyone who comes close. And they have used it. Here is what most coverage of North Sentinel Island leaves out. The Sentinelese are not primitive. They are not savage. They are not stuck in the past. They are making a choice. They have seen enough of the outside world, through the ships that wreck on their reefs, through the helicopters that occasionally fly overhead, through every attempted contact, to decide they want nothing to do with it. And history suggests they may be making the right call. Every uncontacted tribe that has made peaceful contact with the outside world has suffered devastating consequences. Disease kills between 50 and 90% of the population in the years following first contact. Not because outsiders mean harm, but because isolated populations have no immunity to common illnesses that the rest of us carry without even knowing. The Sentinelese almost certainly know this. The 6 people Portman took in 1880 came back sick and dying. That lesson has been passed down through generations for over 140 years. Their aggression is not savagery. It is a 60,000-year-old survival strategy that has worked perfectly. We are the threat. We always were. North Sentinel Island forces us to ask a question that is deeply uncomfortable for modern civilization. We talk about progress, connection, and bringing the world together as if they are always good things, as if contact is always better than isolation. But the Sentinelese have built a society that has survived longer than any civilization in recorded history. Longer than Rome, longer than Egypt, longer than China. They have done it by saying no. No to contact, no to trade, no to religion, no to everything we would call advancement. And they are still here. The forbidden zone around North Sentinel Island isn't just a legal boundary. It's a mirror. And what it reflects back at us, about civilization, about progress, about what we carry with us wherever we go, is something worth sitting with. Maybe the most dangerous thing on that island isn't the Sentinelese. Maybe it's the question they represent. If this made you think, the next video you need to watch is right here. Another forbidden place with a story that goes far deeper than anyone expected. Subscribe to Curiosity Vault so you never miss what's in the vault. I'll see you next time.